Hello and welcome to Between Ends. I'm Jimmy Whitehead and I'm joined as always by my good mate JT Josh Thornton. How you doing, pal?
Good, Jimmy. Yeah, no, great to be back on the show. Big week in bowls. You made your debut, and we're going to talk about that very shortly. You might have been the Moz of the side potentially. We'll soon find out and have a bit of a chat around it.
Yeah, not my debut, mate. It's my debut this season.
Well, you know what I'm talking about.
I know. I've also got a gripe with the way Australians say debut. It's debut. So we'll just leave it there. Just before I crack into it, just want to give thanks to our Metro Pennant partner for this year, which is BCIB. So for all your club insurance needs, contact the Bowls Club specialists, BCIB. Going through last week's action, Josh, we'll kick off with a live streaming game on a very wet Friday night. We had Mentone hosting Clayton. Mentone taking it at the death. Couple of big bowls happening in the last two ends to get them from, I think it was 6 down with 2 ends to play, mate, and they ended up getting, or maybe 3 ends to play. They ended up getting in front. Another tip goes to the wayside for yourself. I told you Mentone were going this week. The team looked good. Wilksy was in. They were primed to win that game. And I also found out on Saturday, and I've since had it reconfirmed, Clayton have never beaten Mentone at Mentone in Premier League. So there you go.
If I knew that, maybe my tip would have been different. And funny enough, I didn't watch the live stream live. I had things on Friday night, but I sort of went back and watched the replay Saturday morning. And here I am 15 minutes ago of the live stream thinking, how did Clayton lose this? And next minute, you probably see that accidental bowl by Brad Foote that had the ultimate result for Mentone. And I guess the rest is history. And those things happen in bowls. I love the way Brad and the rink played it off. They knew it was a bit lucky and they got a good result out of it. And as it turns out, it got them the overall, probably with Tony Wood's last end as well. Good work, Mentone.
Yeah, huge win for them, mate. They'll be wrapped with that. It's a big scalp for them. The other game on Friday night, as we mentioned, wet, terrible weather. Across Thursday, Friday in Melbourne, I'm sure all around the state as well. Yarraville Footscray Altona rained off, couldn't find a time to agree. Another game, so them two will share the points and we'll get half a tip each on that one. MCC Melbourne obviously played in this game, tight game, mate. We're in front early. We're up by about 15 or so early doors. Our rink in particular made a good start. But yeah, MCC probably showed some of that ruthlessness that I mentioned that I thought we had over them. Come towards the end, about 10 ends to go. I think they tied it up, maybe a few ends before. Was tied with 4 ends to go as well, and they just finished stronger. We know they're a good side. We've been saying it all season. I was impressed by them, as I have been every time I've watched them. Can't wait to, fingers crossed, play them in finals. I think it will look a good game then. So yeah, enjoyed it. Good day. But yeah, disappointed we couldn't get the 10 points for the win there, mate.
They continue to impress, and obviously that win probably cements them into the 4 now. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of rounds to go, but and then there's a bit of a gap there establishing with the ladder. Again, 1 game for you, Jimmy, this year, 1 loss. If the results don't go your way this weekend, your Division 1 career might be short-lived, or sorry, your Premier Division career might be short-lived for the year. So.
I'm pretty sure our sayings get your ink, mate, and we got our ink, so it's looking all right. Bandora versus Deer Park. Deer Park 16-2, good win, close game, 7 shots in it. Could have gone either way. I haven't really spoken to any of the players from our other sides there, unfortunately, but probably went the way we expected with Bundy not having Corey Wedlock and Gary Kelly in, but they've pushed them pretty close. 7 shots isn't a big margin at all.
And Brody Harker was laid out too. I only found out after the fact as well. So, no, obviously they played extremely well. I mean, again, home ground advantage always comes up, and there's an element that probably helped them stay intact with that match. But Deer Park, impressive again. And we'll talk about their inclusion this week very shortly.
Yeah. And then local derby or local rivalry, whatever you want to call it, last game of last week, Croydon Lilydale. We knew it was going to be we thought it was going to be a tight game. We knew it was going to be a massive game. Lilydale dominated, 18 zip, 24 shot win. Fantastic result for them. Puts them way clear of Croydon now, and you'd have to think Croydon are going to have to start winning some games they're not expected to win.
I like to think it was a couple of my back slaps the last couple of weeks that sort of got them over the line and going to go, and suggested who they should play here and where and all the rest of it. Look, as expected, I thought they are the better side on paper. I said there's some good talent at Croydon as well, don't get me wrong, but I just felt like they're a little bit stronger across the board, and the results showed that.
So after that round, mate, leaves you a whopping 4 points behind myself in the tipping ladder. Almost a full round. I reckon can probably get to a full round going in round 11 for next week. So some work to do on your part, mate.
Yeah, look, I'm going to change my tact. I haven't even looked at the games yet for this week. So when we actually talk about those rounds, I'm going to go, right, I'm going to tip this team and see whether that makes any difference for me instead of over-analysing and overthinking it.
Well, I might withhold some selection dramas that I've heard about so far. So looking forward to this week, mate. We have got an absolute humdinger on our live stream game. Croydon versus Deer Park. Just mentioned Croydon are going to have to start winning some games they're not expected to win. They'd ideally want to start here, but they're going to come up against the GOAT, mate, the greatest of all time. I spoke to Deer Park yesterday, and they'd had contact with him in the air. He was just leaving Dubai. He was on his way in Australia. So Alex Marshall lining up for Deer Park this weekend. We've got him on the stream rink. He'll be playing against Matty Cretan's rink from Croydon.
Matty Crichton, mate. That's English over here in Australia.
Apologies, mate. How do you see this one going down then, mate? Obviously, he's a huge in for Deer Park.
Yeah, look, again, Croydon at home, but if Lilydale can go in there and roll them 18 zip, there's probably no reason why Deer Park's not going to do the same. It's great to see Alex in the side. I love the rink he's got. He's got the two young Chromie boys playing in the rink. Tyson's playing third, who's been skipping himself and going pretty good, and Kobe leading for him, So I think that's a fantastic rink. And look, yeah, I think they're going to be too strong. I mean, the other matchups we have going at the moment is Wachowski's going to play Mark Casey. Mark Casey's back skipping this week, and Nathan Bush is playing third to him. Drummond is playing Pearce, and Ward is playing Tayton, So some good matchups, but I do expect Deer Park to win. It may not be the 18 zip. As I said, Croydon's capable of getting a rink win, but I do say Deer Park winning the overall.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one, mate. So it's a 4 p.m. start this week, slightly later than advertised. 4 p.m. from Croydon. Tune in. I know most people will be finishing up panic games around then to get it on your big screen at your clubs. Chance to watch the GOAT. I'm actually gonna head straight up after our game at Clayton this weekend. Josh, I'll talk to Alex, and my aim is to get him on the show for next week. I don't think it'll be too difficult. He's a pretty accommodating sort of fella, so we'll get him on, have a chat next week, see what he thinks after one round of Victorian Metro pennants, get his thoughts from there. So we're back around, mate. We're back to the second half of the season. MCC versus Altona. We saw a cracker of a game at the first stream game of the season. Went down to the last bowl of the last end. MCC picked up a win by 1. Do you see it going sort of similar this time around, or you think MCC will go by a bigger margin? Yeah, look,
I feel like it's going to be close. MCC at home, I think is probably the catalyst for me in the way I'm going to tip, and I'll tip MCC. As I said, I made the big call a few weeks ago that Altona were gone. And I still probably think I'm right about that, but they are still a very good side and a quality side. But I'm going to give the nod to MCC.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll join you in that. I saw them obviously firsthand last week. Very good side, just solid. They've got two ins to come back in who are missing from last week. Trish Dorlan being one of them. She's a fantastic player, Victorian stateside player as well. So it's a big in back for them. I noticed someone who took a good mate of ours, Lloyd's position last week, actually went really well. Baywatch went real good for MCC. So it'd be interesting to see if he keeps Lloyd out the side. If he does, I'll be sure to text Lloyd and give him some grief. But yeah, I see MCC picking this one up. Just Ben twisting for Altona this week. So no Nick Cahill and no David Ferguson. So yeah, I'll join you on that tip. Clayton, Melbourne, bit of a friendly rivalry. We do a lot of the guys at Clayton. We play them in a lot of comps, both being sandbelt clubs. We've got a few outs, which I've already told you about, which might change your tipping. Clayton's team isn't in yet, but they've lost a few on the spin. I'm obviously not going to tip against us in a game I'm playing in because it's just pointless turning up and think we're going to lose. I think we'll beat them. I think that the people we're going to bring into our side they'll have an opportunity, mate. And a couple of them have been knocking on the door for a while and will want that opportunity. So I think they'll go good. Always wary of Clayton's back end. It's phenomenal, sort of as good as it gets in Premier League. So depending on what sort of day they have will depend on the result. But I'm going to tip Melbourne on this one.
Really, that's for you guys.
We have one skip and a couple of front ends.
Not going to tell me?
No.
All right. I need to get one back. So I'm going to go Clayton. They owe me after last week, so I'm all in on them this week at home, and hopefully they can get up at the Snake Pit.
Fair enough. Well, that's just sorted our team talk out for Saturday. I'll make sure to mention that. Yarraville Footscray versus Lilydale at Yarraville Footscray. Lilydale coming off that fantastic win. Yarraville Footscray always good at home, been a very consistent side this season. I'm going to give the tip to the doggies on this one. I don't think they'll lose too many games at their home patch. Green's going real good. Team's bedded in. They're playing well, playing for each other. I think they'll get the win here.
Now, I made a call there a few weeks ago that I wouldn't tip Yarraville Footscray out of principle. I don't think I can go against it. And hey, I'll tip Lilydale. And if they get up, guess what? There's another one back on you again. So it's all or nothing at this stage of the year, Jimmy, for me. Probably clutching at straws a little bit, but I'm going to go Lilydale.
Fair enough, mate. It's going to be a massacre if this week goes my way, mate. I'm telling you. And then last up, Mentone at home again against Bundora. Bundy don't have their fly-ins in again this week. Nor do Mentone. No Michael Wilkes this week. I don't think Tony Wood's in either. It's tough for them to back it up 2 weeks in a row, especially against a side like Bundy. I'm leaning towards Bundora just because they ran Deer Park so close last week. And I haven't watched them against Altona a few weeks ago. They're a very formidable side, so I think they'll get the win there. Yeah,
I am going to pick the same as you there and go Bundora RSL. I like to think Brody Hark will be back in this week, which will cement that side. They got quality players in Joshy Corliss and Dean O'Neill, look, even without the fly-ins, who they won't probably have often now with them playing for Burleigh up in Queensland, they're still a very good side and they're still capable of winning the big matches and making the four still. So I'm going to tip Bundura.
Awesome. Oh, it's a good weekend. A good weekend of bowls coming up, mate, all across the state. So wherever you're tuning in from, enjoy your game this weekend. It looks like it's going to be a dry one, not too hot as well, which is fantastic. It's been far too hot for me the last couple of weeks. Josh, thanks for joining us. We'll catch up next week again, mate. Go over what's happened, and fingers crossed, we'll try and get Alex Marshall on for next week as well.
Cheers, Jimmy. Thanks for having me.
Take care, guys.